What's up, everybody? It's your boy ShowtimeDr. Coming at you. So I got another question here from Ricky Montagnana. Sorry if I messed that up. He wanted me to do a team build video, so I will get on that. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Now, team building in this game is... I'm not going to say it's complicated, but it is something you have to be cognizant of because there is... You know how in a lot of RPGs, especially mobile games, once you get a super team, like you get the best at every role or the second best or whatever, and then you think you're done, right? In this game, not so much. It's really good to have those heroes, but depending on what you're fighting, they could be, borderline worthless on some encounters. So what I'm going to go over... First, I will go over the potential roles everybody can fill, and I'm not just talking about like tank and all that, even though that's part of it. We'll go over all the roles and all like the buffs, debuffs, things you need to consider, etc. But after that, I'm going to demo kind of like, okay, if I was fighting this, based off of what I have, what would I take, and what do I think would do the best? And then we'll run the the map or the boss or whatever and see if I was right or not. So in this game, there are 6 basically defined roles. There's a spirit user, which is basically a magic caster, healer, there is a tanker, you got your archer DPS, you got your warrior DPS. Maybe I'm wrong about there being 6, maybe it's 5. Oh, yeah, there's a thief. So there's a thief. The thief is the 6th one now. In fact, let me get into it here. Also, you are going to have to be aware, because depending on the map, they're going to be like, you need 2 thief characters. Okay, if you want to get this bonus, you need a warrior and a grass user. So it's going to kind of switch up which kind of people you're going to need to fulfill these things. So let's say, for instance... Secret. I didn't really go over Secret too much because she is a hero that comes out after the initial banner. She might actually be on the initial banner, but it'll be a separate banner from the reroll banner. I think. I'm not 1000% sure on that, but either way. So things Secret's strong at. She puts bleeds up. She's a water unit. She is I believe that's technically the warrior role. So she's a water unit, and I know that her ulti consists of the more debuffs that are on the target. There's going to be armor piercing, basically ignore armor. More of it for her damage, depending on how many debuffs are on an individual that you are attacking. So, in general, I am going to want to run her against fire bosses or fire units. If there's a fire world, like most of the units on the world, like World 1 or whatever, or Fire, then I'm probably going to want to run someone similar to her. Or like Karen, because Karen kind of fills the same role, but she has 1 debuff. But she is a water. She's a rogue, though, so she has a different dynamic as far as what cards she uses and what her gearing is, etc. So, but Secret, if I was going to run Secret, then what I'm looking for is how many debuffs are going to be on the target. Is it going to be consistent? How many debuffs I'm going to get on the target? So, someone who puts up a lot of debuffs is Curious. And she can actually extend debuffs with her too. So Curious, in theory, would be a good choice. But Secret is going to do the majority of her damage, like bonus damage against water units. As long as she's not fighting grass units, she'll be fine. But since Curious is a grass unit... Well, Secret does bonus to fire. She has higher chance of getting her dots off on fire. Curious has a lower chance of getting her dots off on fire because fire is her counter element. So then that tells me, well, maybe I don't want to run Curious, even though she's going to be putting debuffs up, because she won't put them up at a good enough click that it's going to matter. Now, once again, this is all dependent on, what heroes you have available, but... So now I'm looking at Secret and I'm thinking to myself, I don't really want to run her. Like, I might as well run Karen, because even though Karen does have 1 debuff she puts up, she's not reliant on debuffs. So Karen with Curious, probably a better choice. even if I'm fighting someone fire, because Karen's not going to be as reliant on debuffs. She's more reliant on crit, and as you can see, I have geared her to the teeth. 71% crit chance right there, 164% crit damage. Both of those can get higher, but essentially she's basically going to crit all the time. So it's just little things like that. The roles you are going to be filling, if I look outside of like tank, heals, etc., all the things in the game that can happen. So debuffs. Can I put up defense down, attack down, speed down, crit chance down? Can I put up poison dots, bleed dots? Can I put up someone that dispels buffs? Because that's really strong and rare in this game. Someone that dispels buffs, so I don't have to worry about when the enemy buffs themselves. Can I put up somebody that does AoE dots versus single targets dots? So AoE dots, you want AoE dots, then you are going to want to get Armin if you got Armin. Silk, because Silk, her 3 puts up an AoE snare, which slows their turn speed while simultaneously buffing our team's turn speed. So you see where I'm going with this. So like a team I would create, let me go to the team creator. Just for basic, in fact, you know what, let's go do a PvP. Let's see if I can find someone decent to test PvP on. Oh, these guys suck. Like, they're easy, which is, I didn't want them to be too easy. But oh well, so I'll demonstrate anyways. So, when I put together my PvP team, you know, you can go on, in this case it doesn't matter as much, but you can go on, okay, what heroes do they have, what counters who, says counters Ravi, etc. So, but what you need for most of your teams is going to be a significant DPS character, a healer. In some cases you're going to need a tank, in some cases you're not going to need a tank. Ravi serves as a decent enough off-tank. You're going to need a good either single target or AoE DPSer. And you're going to need either a support unit or a secondary DPS. So I know that kind of goes fast. So what I mean here, when I look at this team, I see that they're a little bit weaker than me, then I want to pour out some AoE damage. So, to be perfectly honest, I don't necessarily need Elson. I can fill his role, because Elson is a guy that can buff attack and defense, which is good, and he's actually really good in PvP. But in this case, it's not going to matter, so I can get more damage out if I roll Silk in. So, and then I will show you the roles I got going on and why I got certain people doing certain things. So your archer, you should know, most of your archers are built around speed. So your archer is usually going to go first. Like I said, Silk, she's going to simultaneously with her ult have an 80% chance to debuff their attack speed, 100% chance to buff our attack speed, and do a good amount of damage there. So now Karen, the reason I bring Karen is one of the top single target DPSers in the game. So I can pick any of these characters and know I could probably kill them as long as she crits her too. Which she did. And that's that. And she gets an extra turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and wreck this guy. So what Karen brings to the team, someone that's gonna deal bonus damage to fire, which that guy was, even though he's a tank, he survived. Someone that can inflict defense down, someone that's going to take extra turns and crit a butt ton. But her survivability is an issue, so we have to start looking at... In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take out their healer. So, like right here, like, you see how there's all these debuffs here? Well, someone like Akates or Destina, I can use that to my advantage. You see her turn right here. This is Silk right here. Well, if I use Destina's ult, not only is it going to cleanse every debuff that's on her, but she's going to get a significant jump in her turn order. And oh look, it's her next turn. So, and now their tank doesn't get to go. So you see how crazy your team comps can be. Now, I went over the debuffs with you guys already, so as far as buffing goes in this game, you can buff attack damage, defense, attack speed. You can buff crit chance. You know, there's healing effects, etc. So there's a lot of buffs in the game. So what you want to have is a DPS that either they do so much damage that it doesn't matter if they buff or debuff a whole ton of amount, or that they are self-sustaining like Ravi is, to where they lifesteal and they have a big AoE stun that they can do if they get charged up enough, etc. You need someone that either they're so good at their DPS role that it doesn't matter, or that they're bringing so much to the team, debuff-wise, stat buff-wise, self-mitigation-wise, that it doesn't matter. And then you want some people that buff, because buffs and breaks in this game are super powerful. So you want somebody that can break defense. You want somebody that can buff speed. You want somebody that can buff attack, buff defense. And I'm going to show you guys like a team that covers almost all those roles. So let's get into it here. So this is team 2. So right here, that's a pretty good team. I actually run it usually when I do exploration missions. But if I wanted to have like a safer team, in fact, I'll mess with team 1. Because late in the game, you're going to want a safer team just for, you need to be tanky and DPS and have a lot of people with heal functions. So in this case, I have Destina, who has strong AoE heal, gets rid of dots. All of her abilities heal, which is pretty good. You can also fill her out with Akates. Akates is almost as good. Some people actually argue better. Silkill, she has an AoE that slows their attack speed, deals significant damage, and buffs our attack speed. But then likewise, if for whatever reason I feel like I don't necessarily need that, I can replace her with... Is that Ilson? I know Ilson's here somewhere. He's like 40. Weird. It's like ordered these heroes in a weird way I'm not familiar with. Well, anyways, I can get Elson, and Elson, here he is. Elson, I can have him fill Silk's role if I want, and Elson will do an attack, an AoE attack and defense buff for up to 3 turns if you burn it. He has a 2 that heals, so he support heals. So like this team right now is really strong because Ravi has an AoE stun and also has a self-sustaining lifesteal on her 1. Armin can give us a DPS shield along with a heal with her ulti, but with her 2 she can put blind on, which prevents them from effectively giving you debuffs, as well as a poison dot, so a little tick of a poison dot. Elson, like I said, he buffs attack and defense, and he also has an AoE heal, and then Destina has an AoE cleanse, AoE heal, strong single target heal with a buff, and her 1 does an attack buff. So, and depending on what relics you have, you can twiddle with that even further, but this entire team, guys, is capable of healing. Whether it's a self-heal or an AoE heal or a group heal, or heal someone else. So that is actually a pretty strong team, but you're going to kill stuff slower because you have 1 person as main DPS, so... But this is a good team to run on like a really hard, what's it called? Tower boss. Because there are some tower bosses to where you can't just out DPS them, you have to mitigate and heal, etc. So, excuse me. So those are some of the roles you're going to want to be filling as far as buffs and debuffs go in the game. There are some heroes that they can buff crit rate. There are some heroes that can do all types of crazy stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go do... I don't think I've ever done this, so... We're going to go test this theory, and I'm going to try to build the best team I can for... Oh yeah, this boss wrecks me. Yeah, this boss is actually kind of hard for me. So let me see what he is, and let's see if I can gear up for whatever it is. This would probably be a bad team. So let's go... I Actually, that might not be a bad team. Well, okay, I need to know what we're fighting, so let's go ahead and go in. But like I said, this team, guys, this is a team that is built for sustain, so it is going to DPS slower. There's the attack and defense buff. So these guys, from what I remember, I think I'm wanting to attack this dude in the front first because they start to put out crazy amounts of damage. So right here I'm going to do the AoE that has a chance to put up poison as well as blind. Got poison on. Now, right now, no one's significantly damaged, so I don't have to worry too much about anything. So I'm just going to auto with her and get that 15% heal. And then Ravi with the big follow-up, which is nice. That is a proc chance. This is an AoE heal that does damage, but I don't need that. This is a 50% chance to put attack down. Single target didn't work there. But you see the sustain we have right now, so I haven't even delved into ultimates or even most skill 2s. Well, I did do one ultimate. I did Ilsen's ultimate, but that's the buff. So right now I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, if Armin was going later, it would be really good to do her ult right now because it's going to put up a big DPS shield and AoE heal. But since everybody is going to go, maybe might not be that great, but actually it probably wouldn't be too bad. But what I'm going to elect to do, I might actually skip a turn because I think on their turn 3 is when they start ramping up their damage. So Armin's 1 has a higher chance to stun based on the more debuffs are on an enemy. Base is 25%, but there's a stun right there. So you got to keep stuff like that in mind. Like what is a hero capable of overall and what can they do? So I'm still not that scared for Ravi right now because I know that she's going to get an additional heal. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep DPSing here. Now with this guy, I'm considering doing my AoE heal, but at the same time, I just want to get more deeps up because I know that Ravi's going to heal when that happens, and she did a pretty good job there. So here comes the deeps. You see the dots. I'm actually very lucky that I didn't crit, and I'm lucky that that guy was stunned. So what I am going to do, I am going to AoE heal with Destina next. So I need to figure out, do I want to burn, or not literally burn, but do I want to use the ability to do the damage shield right now? Because this guy's probably going to do his DPS thing. What I'm going to elect to do is try to stun this guy again. Didn't work. So now all bets are off. I need my ult. We'll get Ravi's turn next, like instantly. And we're just gonna keep DPSing. So what I'm actually saving, because we lost our buffs, I am saving for the burn to burn his ultimate, because that will give us a 3-turn attack and defense buff. And we're gonna keep... Man, dude, he's not getting that 50% proc at all. She has a decent chance of dying unless, yeah, okay, they attack some other people, that's good. So now is like the perfect time for an Armin ult. So we're gonna go ahead and get that up. And then right now, if I want, I can do her big AoE stun, which actually wouldn't be too bad an idea. But what I also want, because that resets her bar underneath, that causes her to do more damage. So I'd rather just get this guy dead than blow all the stun stuff. So right now, I look at Elsen. I see Elsen's health's pretty low, but I also see that he has an anti-heal debuff. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to heal him. So no matter what I do, he's kind of screwed. So I'm going to go ahead. Attack there. And like I said, I'm going to burn this so we can get the 3 turns to our buffs there. Alright, so now we got 2 poison buffs, which is going to start to play a role. I'm actually going to burn some additional healing stuff, but... You know, thinking about it, because we got 2 people low, I'm going to go ahead and burn ulti, because we can kill that one guy, and then get a stun off on at least one of the other guys. That'll bring our team mitigation, survivability up. And we got stuns on both of them, so that's excellent. So what I'm going to do now... we'll go ahead and burn. Should I burn her 2 now? No, I'll wait a turn. So we'll go ahead, since this guy's lower, we'll go ahead and start on him. So now's when, okay, I need to start burning all the additional heals while the other heals are off cooldown. And, you know, get Ravi. I'm trying to think if Ravi should be fine, actually. Let's go ahead and heal Elson up. But if you guys think this is easy right now, just wait. The next guy's going to be even crazier. So I can burn with Ravi. Burn is going to get her additional healing, along with a damage boost. So you see, despite all that pain that we took, we're basically still at full heal here. I'm trying to get this guy in the end down before their turn comes up. That's a blind debuff, so he's going to have trouble putting up the anti-healing debuff. Should be able to kill this guy. So this shouldn't be a big deal because this guy, he does good damage, but by himself it shouldn't be that big a deal, so... Now it's just a matter of keep your team as healthy as possible because there's going to be a second battle. And, yeah, I don't mind burning that right now. Do I? Because it's a 3-turn cooldown. Can we kill him in 3 turns? I think we should be fine. By the way, let me move so you guys can see the charge bar. So I'll tell you guys, the odds of me beating the boss are pretty low, because I just don't have, well, A, I didn't optimize the team for him. I should have looked at the preview screen. But overall, the team we got isn't too bad. The only issue is we have 2 grass heroes. But now that becomes our strength, except for the boss. So this guy, oh my god, I remember this now. This is hard. Both of these guys in the front have a fuck ton of life. So basically, I have to go hard on the boss. And you can see his health bar. That's going to be an issue. So, let's get the debuff out. Let's see if we can get accuracy debuff at least. Maybe poison if I'm lucky. But like, so bringing someone with like Kyrus to this fight, guys, it would be pretty hard because Kyrus is a grass unit, and grass does less damage to fire, also does less... Basically, you can cut whatever their chances to inflict the debuff are in half, because that's pretty much what it feels like. Now, you see here, Ravi has anti-healing and debuffed her speed, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off with the ult, because that can't happen. Ravi with anti-healing is death in this game for her, so even though don't necessarily need to heal on everybody, but it's nice to be able to get that debuff off so she can keep lifing up. So what I'm gonna run into here is eventually this guy's gonna ramp his damage up. This guy, he's always pretty much the same damage. And the boss is gonna ramp his damage up as well, so that's gonna be a bit of an issue. So actually, I probably do want to burn this right now just to get a damage shield up. So now let's do it, unburned. And we'll see if we can outlast this guy, because I don't know, because I've gotten to the point with this battle, but I had a different team, but I can kill this guy, but then he finishes me off usually. So that's the issue. What would be nice is if I got some more follow-up attacks, but doesn't seem to be a thing here. So right now, like I said, you want to have these buffs up as much as possible. You only got one life bar in most characters in this game, so you gotta protect it. Damn, Revy's doing such good damage for what she has. So yeah, we'll just keep going on him. I don't even know if he can be stunned, but if it's possible. Alright, it's not going bad so far. That shield's actually been working out pretty good. Yeah, this guy just might not be able to be debuffed at all. Alright, there's his ability. So now I gotta decide, do I want to burn with her? Which I probably do. Part of me wants to do the wolf, but the wolf's on cooldown for a bit. Because if I do the wolf's going to increase attack. It's going to do a big fat AoE damage, and it's also going to increase attack for the entire team for 2 turns. But, like, Destina being attack broken, that's not a big deal. It'd be a big deal for Ravi was. You know what, in this case, I'm going to rely on Ilsen's heal to keep everyone up, and this life steal. Oh, fuck. Defense down is really bad. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get some accuracy debuffs out. Or poison. And we really need this heal. Oh, my bad. I forget you have to target it over here. Ravi's turn's coming, but the boss is gonna get to go. So, do I want to heal her and be basically down on heals except for Destina's passives? I probably do not. I just gotta hope that Ravi can make it. You know what? I'll burn. Yeah, that got her to full. And that turns out to be an excellent choice. But she can't heal now, so now that I see this, her armor's broken, her speed is broken, and she can't heal. So right now it's just like, fuck it, I need to stun. So, just pray. Hope this goes off. One out of 3, but that is a significantly damaging guy, so I'm happy about that. But the issue is, Ravi's low. And I have 2 turns I have to make it, and most of the healing cooldowns are down. Damn, dude, I shouldn't have burned her thing that quick. I probably should have tried to stun him. That's not gonna work, huh? Shoot, I think we're screwed. I'll give it a shot, but I think we're screwed. Yeah, it doesn't work. So you see like team comp here now? Maybe Ravi's not the best to bring in here just because she relies so much on that healing. So, and of course, all the buffs and stuff are up now, but I don't have a team that can DPS the rest of this down. So this is a fail run. Mainly because of that anti-heal debuff. Defense down didn't help. Wow, he survived. So, like, strategy-wise, looking at this now, what I should have done, I should have burned Destina's ult when I did. I shouldn't have burned Armin's ult until about, like, maybe a couple turns later, so we could have had it for some of the defense down, anti-healing stuff. But oh well, so that's the way that one goes. But luckily when you fail this, you don't really lose anything. Except your pride. So now that I see that, I'm like, okay. Well, Ravi's not necessarily the best idea, so who can replace her? And it's like, well... probably going to have to run a combo. Which means I gotta get rid of Elson. Or Armin. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I could have Akatas in on Elson's place. We'd lose the buff, but I have 2 cleanses. I've never run them before, that's pretty funny. But then if I do that, I don't really need Armin, so let's get another DPS out. At least I think I don't need Armin. Karen's squishy, but she puts out the deeps, so let's see if this works. And then win or lose this, guys, that'll be it for that. So... but you know, so Karen's gonna get us through this first phase quicker. Let's look at this. Ah, she didn't crit, that's too bad. But so you're going to see the difference in the teams is going to be there is basically more more damage, but also less damage mitigation. So it's going to be a little rougher trying to get through all this. Taking damage wise, but doing damage wise, it's going to be a little easier. And that's what I do not want. I do not want them focusing on her. They've already put up so many anti-healing debuffs. Almost got him.
겁내지 마세요.
I'll go for this guy because he's putting up most of the annoying debuffs. I'll try to get a stun out if I can. Well, as long as they don't hit Karen, I'm good. Destina should be able to 2 her, so we should be okay. Yeah.
서쪽의 짐승이여. 모조리 체포해주겠어요. 발동. 승리는 눈앞에 있습니다.
That's too bad we couldn't get her down.
모조리 체포해주겠어요. 여기요. 네. 모두 보내버릴 거야.
Really need one of those ults.
도와줘. 기다려요. 지지 않을
There we
거예요.
go.
나버릴 거예요. 겁내지 마세요. 승리는 눈앞에 있습니다. 번개 쳐라. 모두 각오해라. 이리 와. 좋아요.
So to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if this is even gonna work when we get to the main guy.
찬란한 빛이여. 모조리 체포해주겠어요.
Yeah, let's burn it.
선멸한다. 모두 보내버릴 거야. 여신을 위하여 빛으로. 승리는 눈앞에 있습니다. 겁내지 마세요. 영원한 꿈을 꾸길 좀 도와줘.
Alright, back to big boy.
모조리 체포해주겠어요. 일성.
So you see here, one of the reasons I elected to bring Karen is because she's going to have an easier time putting debuffs up on fire. It's too bad we don't have ult available. Hey, we got a lot of damage out there just because of the follow-up. So right now, since we have less mitigation, this is actually going to be a much harder fight just because they have so much damage output. So I am electing, since she's already at full for all this stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and freaking try to stun. And hopefully get more than 1 out of 3. Nice. Both of the minions.
빛의 이름으로.
Of course he had to aim for her. Out of like everybody. So there goes most of my DPS. And you know what's gonna happen to Ravi in a couple turns. But oh well, it doesn't mean we have to give up.
겁내지 마세요.
And, you know, to be perfectly honest, I think I'll probably take Karen's crit rate down a bit and just give her a little bit more life or something, because that's a bit ridiculous. This guy does hit really hard, but shouldn't be like one-shottable though. I was hoping she would get to the point where I could use a wolf and then hopefully get her combo up. She would have hit hard as hell. Should I burn this? No. Not yet.
찬란한 빛이여.
So honestly, probably. More than anything else, this is a gearing issue. I want to use a wolf, but she needs life, so... Good time for a Destino ult.
영광을 위하여.
Okay, here's the wolf. Just gotta hope everyone survives this next hit. No, the one person that couldn't die. So she was gonna cleanse us. See, the AI is pretty good in this game. They know what you want to do. Alright, that's that. So anyways, I've been stuck on that one for like 3 days. I'm getting a lot closer though. It's just a matter of getting the gearing right and getting everyone leveled up properly, etc. So anyways guys, that'll be it for this video. It's been a little bit long, but just things to keep in mind, just so we can go over it again. Buffs, debuffs. Do you have a character that can dispel? Do you have a support or a tank or even a DPS that has self-sustain? Keep in mind the elements. Keep in mind your chances. Are debuffs really important for this character? Are buffs really important for this character? Everything. And you'll put it all together, and then once you get to the gearing issue of this relic increases follow-up attack or whatever, you'll piece it all together and you guys will be fine. So anyways guys, ShowtimeDr, ShowtimeDr on Twitch. You found my YouTube, hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, if you look in the title info, there's a link to my Discord. You can come in there, share your experiences, ask questions, and we can all have a good time. So take care, have a great day.